Welcome to Yoga Travels with Karen. I'm Karen, and today I'm going to take you through some poses and techniques that will perhaps alleviate some pain from headaches and even migraines. I've had a few friends who have been suffering from migraines lately, and it's inspired me to do this video. So for this class, you'll need a pillow and also some sort of material. So it might be a hand towel or a tea towel or a clean sock rather than a dirty sock. I've just got a hairband that we're just going to use to place over our eyes. So if you're ready, come and join me and we'll get started. We're going to start today's class sitting down and just finding the most comfortable position for you, and also the most comfortable, calming, soothing environment that you can possibly create where you are now. So whether that means turning the sound down, turning the lights down, maybe closing the door, maybe it's putting on another layer of clothing, or taking your hairband out if you've got your hair up in a ponytail, just to relieve any possible tension. And just start to relax, try to relax. I'm just going to do that by finding a nice balanced seated position, just moving your body a little bit side to side, finding a nice gentle balance on both sit bones. The hands can just be on the knees, they can be in your lap, they can be by your side, whatever you feel gives you the most comfort right now. Closing the eyes. You may need to open your eyes occasionally just to see what I'm doing, but try and close your eyes. If we can shut off that sense and just stop information coming in through our visual sense, that can also help relieve pain, relieve tension. Just gently finding a nice comfortable position, relaxing through the shoulders, relaxing through the chest. And start to feel your body become heavier and really feel those sit bones melting and grounding into your mat, into the floor, wherever you are. Sometimes our head can just feel completely heavy and overweighted, and that can create pressure on those top three parts of our spinal cord, the cervical C1, C2 and C3. And this pressure can be pushed down onto that C1, especially the C2. There's a little gap in there that can just have lots of pressure placed on it. If you imagine that your head is like a bucket, and a little bit of, if we have a jug full of water and a little bit of that water gets poured into that bucket, your head, every time something a little bit stressful happens, on its own it might not be stressful. Might just be something happening at work, at home. Each time a little bit more gets poured into that bucket, and the weight of that just becomes heavier and heavier on that spinal cord there on the top. Those little neck muscles then can't cope with the weight. The spine is trying to hold everything up, and the pressure can then cause that pain. We'll do a few techniques to relieve that C2 area. I'll show you how to do those. And just follow your breath. Relax the legs, the hips, the knees, the arms. Headaches can also be caused by oversensitive nerves. So you might have a bit of an aversion to loud noises or to bright lights. And it's not so much that that's causing the headache, but perhaps your nerves are becoming, or they're very sensitive, so they're becoming overstimulated and working too hard to try and counteract that experience or that aversion to those things, to those triggers. And that in itself can cause headaches. I know that's a big cause of a headache for myself, for me. I'm just going to do a few chin tucks because you might notice that at the moment your chin is forward. It's very common for us to sit hunched around a screen of some sort. So just bringing those shoulders back a little and then push that chin forward and then gently pull the chin back and just see the difference that makes in your spine. Does it lighten the load on your spine, on your head? Push the chin forward and pulling the chin back. It's not so much tucking the chin, we're just pulling the head back, lining up those ears with the top of the shoulders. A couple more of those, the chin forward. You might find that each time you come back a little bit further. And back. One more, chin forward. And pulling it back. Do you notice a difference in the spine now and your posture? Maybe in the balance on your sit bones. Just gently bring those shoulders up to the ears. And lower them down as you exhale, dropping the shoulders. Take an inhale, lift the shoulders up. And exhale, soften them down, releasing them down. Good. Let's bring our chin all the way down to the chest, looking down towards the legs. Feel that release in the back of the neck. Gently bringing the head back to center. You can lift the head up if it suits your neck. Relax your jaw or soften, separate your teeth and open up your jaw. Feel how that relieves and releases a little bit more movement in the neck. And closing the mouth and bringing the head all the way down, looking down. And let's go back up again. Drop the jaw, bottom jaw. Closing the mouth and back to center. Just turning the head now over towards the right shoulder and just noting how far you're able to rotate. And we have that pressure on those C1, 2 and 3 parts of the spine. It can just create a bit of resistance in turning our neck. Coming back to center now, let's add a little technique here. So that C2, I'm going to turn around to show you. That C2 basically sits in this spot. So if you bring your hands in line with your ears and bring it across in behind the back, and just in this part here, you might feel just a little indentation. So we're going to just press on one side, just a little bit of pressure here. And from here, turn your head towards that side. A little bit of pressure into that back of the neck there with the fingers. You might feel some release or you might feel a little bit of pain there. Keep that pressure there and turn your head now in the opposite direction. And if at any point there's too much pain or it's unbearable, then please don't go any further, just release. You might find that creates a bit of release. Let's go back in the other direction. One more time away. And this is something you can do at any time. Good, and coming back to center. Let's do that on the other side. So finding that spot. Just a little bit of pressure with the fingers, just in. You probably feel a little knobbly bit, perhaps it's a bit tender. You can always just massage those bits as well, just with your fingers. And let's place a bit of pressure. I feel, for example, that this side is a little bit more tender. So let's turn the head towards that hand first of all. And then turning it away. Notice if there's any difference to the other side. One more time, looking left and right. Feel free to keep your eyes closed while you do any of these movements. If you find a spot that feels particularly tender, then by all means just stay and hold, and maybe just a little massage with the fingers. Good, coming back to center. Beautiful. And now just give it another go, turning the head. How does it feel now? Let's turn the head to one side. And the other side. Perhaps you feel a bit of release in that movement. And maybe if that felt good, just keep doing that. That's not a problem. Another one that works quite nicely behind the back, again, I'll turn around to show you, is placing your hands, just joining the fingers here in behind the neck, just below the hairline here. And then we're going to place a little pressure there and almost wipe away our hands away along the back of the neck. As we do that, looking up, you can separate the teeth to relax that bottom jaw. Good. And notice if there's any difference to when you did it before. Let's do another 2 of those. So bring the fingertips together, just looking down a little. And then as we separate, pull away those hands, those fingers from each other. Allow the chin to lift up, but release that bottom jaw. Good. One more. Looking down a little and wipe those fingers away from each other. Lift the chin, looking up. Beautiful. Bring the head back to center. And maybe just a little test here too. Just bring the chin down, looking down and looking up. Release the jaw. And back to center. Perhaps you can feel a little bit of release there. Let's see. Let's drop the hands out to the side and take a nice big breath in. Lift those hands, but drop the shoulders. Don't push the shoulders up because it's going to negate all of that nice work we've just done. Keep those shoulders down, relaxing. Keep that chin down and back a little. Good. Take a breath here. Beautiful. Let's hold on to our left wrist with our right hand, just lifting up as we inhale. And as you exhale, a little bend to the right. Just allow the head to be cradled in the arms. Good. Let's come back to center, release. Good. Holding on to the other wrist. Inhale, lift that arm up. And exhale, reaching it across. Beautiful. Coming back to center and release the hands, and let's just float them all the way down. Beautiful. Let's come over into a tabletop position. Coming down, bring our hands down, our knees are hip distance apart, hands are shoulder width apart, and just a little bit of a variation of cat-cow in that we'll just do one part of it. So we're going to drop our belly down, tilt our tailbone up, and we're going to keep our gaze down between our hands. And I'd like you just to stay here with the breath. Really let that belly drop down and the buttocks to tilt up, that tailbone to really tilt up. You can close your eyes if you like. But keep that gaze down between the hands. We're not extending through that neck. Just keep the gaze down. And as you inhale, feel the chest expand a little. And as you exhale, feel that belly drop. Lift up through the arms. Keep that gaze down. You might feel a little release through the back of the neck here. through the spine. Keep the breath going. Maybe with each breath you can just allow that belly to drop a little further, the tailbone to tilt up a little more. Keep that head looking down. Good. Let's just tuck the tailbone under and push up through the arms as a bit of a counter pose. And then drop those hips back towards the heels. You might like to separate the knees a little. Let's take a big inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, melt all the way down to the mat. Really allow the arms to relax, the chest, the belly. Let everything fall down, soften. Follow the breath. All right, let's lift up the body. Keep those knees separated. Let's just release through that spine a little bit more. Some release through there might help with our headaches as well. So we're going to thread that left arm in underneath our bodies and coming down onto the side of your head. Just a little bit of pressure on the side of the head there. But again, it just creates a little stretch in the side of the neck, as well as through the shoulders. Remember to keep all the movements gentle. Let's come up nice and slow. Come up on the other side. Let's thread that right arm now through underneath the body. Shoulder coming down, resting on the side of the head. Good, coming up, let's bring that hand back and let's drop those hips back down towards the heels, coming into that nice, relaxed child pose, wide knee. Let's take an inhale, lift the chest, exhale, melting down. Good, let's gently lift up. And just bringing the knees in slightly. We've come into hare pose now. And hare pose is a wonderful pose for releasing tension through the scalp and through the neck and through the shoulders. I'll show you a few variations and you can choose which one suits you. So for the first variation, we're going to place our hands down on the mat, lifting the hips a little so they're coming up. There's a straight line here between the knees and the hips. And variation one, coming down, bringing your head down. So there's pressure on the top of the head, but here you can use the hands to reduce or increase the pressure on the top of the head. Now this might be completely sufficient for you and you might find it just provides you with the perfect release. Okay, you might feel a little bit of tension in there, but when we come back out of the pose, that will all just subside and give you a nice big release. So it's a combination of being in the pose as well as coming out of the pose for this one. The second variation then is coming back, bringing the hips back. I'm going to bring the hands closer to the knees and now tuck that chin towards the chest. You might lift up a little bit through the buttocks to be able to bring your head on top of the crown. Release your hands back and hold on to your heels. And now you're going to push, sort of roll. You'll find there's not a lot of pressure on the head, just a little bit. So you might roll, lifting the buttocks a little bit. Roll that chin towards the chest. Use your hands on your heels as a bit of resistance. Feel perhaps a release through the trapezius muscles up through the top of our shoulders there. To keep breathing. You should be able to just lift your head quite easily. That's not all the weight is not on the top of the head there. We don't want that.
I can feel a release through my collarbones, through the back of my shoulders. You can lift your heels lift your hips as much or as little as you feel your body can handle. Oh, take another breath. Last one. And slowly release the hips down. If you're in the first variation, just bring the hips back down towards the heels. And let's come into a nice wide-legged child pose. Spread those knees out and coming down with the chest. Now the forehead does come down onto the mat. Just take a few moments. Beautiful. Let's come up, lifting our bodies up nice and slow. Remember, all our movements are nice and slow as we look after our bodies here. Let's roll over and come down to a nice, comfortable supine position. Find your pillow now. Place your head on the pillow. And from here, bring your feet to the width of the mat. Knees are bent. Just bringing those knees in together first of all. Just feel that relaxation come through the spine, through the back. And you might need to just adjust the head a little bit. Maybe the shoulders need adjusting. Find a nice comfortable position. And let's place those hands in behind the neck again. Just allow the elbows to roll out to the sides and maybe just find a little space there and give yourself a little massage. You might find there's one side or the other side of the neck that's feeling a little bit more tension. See what feels good for you. Good, and just releasing the hands. We're going to do a breathing practice now. We're going to do our alternate nostril breathing practice. This breath really allows you just to balance through the whole body. Balancing the breath on left and right hand sides will help balance the body. You can also find that equilibrium through the body, which can then help relieve any tension in the head, in the neck, and pain from the headache as well, of course. So if you stay lying down, I'm going to sit up and show you the alternate nostril breathing pattern. And once we've got it down pat, then we can resume lying down, or you can stay lying down. At that point as well, I would suggest placing the piece of material you have over your eyes just to reduce all stimulation. All right, so for this practice, we just need our forefinger and our thumb. The breath will go in one side and out the other side of our nostrils, and then in that side and out the other side. So let's have a practice run together first of all. Closing off your left side of your nose, your left nostril. Breathe in through the right. And now we're going to exhale, close off the right, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close off left, exhale through the right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left.
All right, let's stop there together. And now we're going to find that super comfortable position. You can bring your legs out into full Shavasana. You can support your elbow as you do this lying down, but place something over your eyes so we can black out all of that visual stimulation, making us feel nice and cozy and really able to go within as we follow this breath. So one round of this particular alternate nostril breathing is basically in through one side, out through the other, in and out. So that's one round. So I'd like you just to do about 5 or 6 or 7 rounds, whatever suits you, whatever feels comfortable with you. And then just come into a full Shavasana, bringing the arms down alongside the body, and then stay there as long as you need. So I'll count you through 3 rounds of the alternate nostril breathing, and then I'll leave you to it. So I'll thank you here for sharing this practice with me. Be very kind to yourself when you have a headache, and have a look not just at treating the pain, but also figure out the reason why the headache is being caused. Is it because your neck is just being pushed down and that spine is being jammed down with too much in your head? Or is it from having oversensitive nerves that can react to things? Whatever the reason is, thank you for sharing the practice with me. Look after yourself, and namaste. But let's practice that alternate nostril breathing. Let's block off the left nostril. Inhale through the right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Follow your breath for another few rounds.